What if the greatest war in heaven wasn't over a soul but a body? In a forgotten verse of the Bible, the mighty archangel Michael clashes with Satan himself, not for power or glory, but for the lifeless remains of Moses. Why would the devil risk everything to claim a dead man's body? What secret did Moses carry that made his grave the ultimate battlefield between light and darkness? This isn't just an ancient tale. It's a chilling revelation about spiritual warfare that could change how you see your own life. Buckle up, because we're about to uncover a mystery that heaven itself tried to hide. Moses was no ordinary man. He was a giant of faith, a leader whose story still echoes through time, stirring hearts with tales of miracles and unbreakable courage. Born into slavery in Egypt, Moses grew up in the shadow of Pharaoh's palace, but his true calling came from a burning bush in the wilderness. God chose him, a stuttering shepherd, to confront the mightiest empire on earth and free his people. Can you imagine the fear and awe he must have felt standing before a tyrant, demanding freedom? Moses' life wasn't just about survival. It was about divine power breaking chains that seemed unbreakable. His miracles started small, but grew into wonders that shook the world. Picture this. Moses throws his staff to the ground, and it twists into a living serpent devouring the tricks of Egypt's magicians. That was just the beginning. God unleashed 10 plagues through him, each one a hammer blow against Egypt's false gods. The Nile River, their sacred lifeline, turned to blood, dark, thick, and reeking of death. Frogs swarmed the land, lice infested every corner, flies buzzed in endless clouds. Livestock died, boils erupted on skin, hail shattered the skies, locusts devoured crops, and darkness swallowed the sun. But the final plague, heartbreaking, the death of every firstborn in Egypt, while God's people were spared by the blood of a lamb on their doors. That Passover night, Moses led a nation out of bondage, their cries of joy mingling with Egypt's wails of grief. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to witness God's judgment and mercy collide in one moment? As Pharaoh's army chased them to the Red Sea, panic gripped the Israelites. Trapped between water and warriors, they cried out. But Moses, with faith like steel, stretched out his staff. The sea parted, walls of water towering on either side, dry ground underfoot. The people crossed in awe, but when the Egyptians followed, the waters crashed back, drowning their pursuers. Freedom at last. Yet the desert ahead was no paradise. 40 years of wandering tested their souls. Hunger struck first, millions starving in the sand. God sent manna, heavenly bread, falling like dew each morning. Sweet, nourishing, a daily reminder to trust him. Thirst came next, throats parched and desperate. Moses struck a rock and water gushed out, a river in the wasteland. But later, in a moment of frustration, he disobeyed, striking instead of speaking, claiming glory for himself. That slip cost him dearly. Why do our biggest mistakes often come when we're closest to victory? Through it all, God's presence guided them, a pillar of cloud by day shielding from the sun, a pillar of fire by night lighting the way. Moses climbed Mount Sinai, fasting for 40 days, receiving the 10 Commandments, God's law etched in stone, a blueprint for holy living. He was God's friend, speaking face to face, but even giants fall. In his anger, Moses struck the rock again, robbing God of honor. For that, he couldn't enter the promised land. From a distant mountain, he gazed at the land flowing with milk and honey, his heart aching with unfulfilled longing. Deuteronomy 34 tells us he died in Moab, and God himself buried him in a hidden valley. No one knows the spot to this day. Why would the creator of the universe personally bury his servant? What was God protecting? The mystery deepens here. Moses' death wasn't the end. It was the spark of an epic spiritual showdown. In Jude verse 9, we peek behind the veil. But Michael the archangel, when he disputed with the devil and argued about the body of Moses, did not dare pronounce against him a railing judgment, but said, "The Lord rebuke you." Heaven and hell colliding over a corpse, Satan, the prince of darkness, demanding Moses' body like a trophy. Michael, God's warrior angel, standing firm. This wasn't a casual argument. It was war in the unseen realm, a battle that could shake eternity. What made Moses remain so valuable that Satan would fight an archangel for them? Let's step into that hidden valley. Moses lies still, his body a vessel that once channeled God's power. God buries him secretly, no tomb, no marker, just divine hands covering him with earth. Why the secrecy? Because God knew what was coming. Satan slithers in, eyes gleaming with malice, claiming rights to the body. Michael descends, wings of light unfurling, ready to defend. The air crackles with tension, accusations flying like arrows. Satan hisses, "He's mine, look at his sins." Michael doesn't lash out, he invokes the ultimate authority, "The Lord rebuke you." Victory sealed not by force, but by faith in God's word. Have you ever felt an invisible battle raging around you, whispers of doubt trying to steal your peace? Satan's motives run deep, twisted with cunning. First, he might have wanted to block Moses from heaven's glory. Flash forward to Matthew 17. Moses appears with Elijah on the Mount of Transfiguration, radiant beside Jesus. Glorified, resurrected. Satan hated that. Just as he tried to derail Jesus' mission, he aimed to trap Moses in death, using his body as a chain. Imagine the devil's rage, God's plan unfolding despite his schemes. But why stop there? Satan's second ploy, idolatry. He knew Israel's weakness. Remember the golden calf? They danced around a statue while Moses was on the mountain, or the bronze serpent meant for healing turned into a worshipped idol. If Satan got Moses' body, he'd parade it, turning graves into shrines. Pilgrims flocking, offerings piling up, true worship forgotten. Moses, the liberator, reduced to a relic. Chilling, isn't it? How easily hearts stray from God to shiny distractions. The third reason hits hardest, accusation. Satan, the accuser, Revelation 12:10, loves dredging up dirt. Moses killed an Egyptian, smashed the tablets in fury, struck the rock in pride. Unworthy, Satan snarls, trying to tarnish Moses' legacy. He wants to whisper doubts. If even Moses failed, what hope do you have? This tactic discredits God's grace, making us feel forever stained. But God sees beyond failures. Moses was his faithful servant, honored despite flaws. Satan's grab for the body was a desperate bid to rewrite history, to mock God's forgiveness. Do these motives sound familiar? They're the same lies the enemy uses on us today, blocking our destiny, tempting us to idols, accusing us of unworthiness. Yet in the face of such darkness, light prevails. God hid Moses' body, thwarting Satan's plans from the start. Michael's stand wasn't about angelic muscle, it was humble reliance on God. The Lord rebuke you, words echoing Zechariah 3:2, where God silences accusations against Joshua the high priest. This battle shows God's protection extends beyond life. He guards our dignity, our legacy, even our remains. Moses, flawed but faithful, rests secure. Satan's fury crashes against divine sovereignty and shatters. Isn't it comforting to know that when God protects, nothing, not death, not devils, can touch what's his? This story isn't just about Moses, it's a mirror for our lives. Spiritual warfare is real, raging unseen around us. Ephesians 6:12 warns, "We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers." Satan accuses, tempts, distracts, but he's already defeated. Like Michael, we don't fight alone. We stand in God's authority, rebuking lies with truth. Have you faced accusations lately? Whispers that you're not good enough? Remember Moses, God's grace covers it all. Think about worship. Israel fell into idolatry time and again, but God calls us to pure devotion. No relics, no distractions, just heart to heart with him. Moses' hidden grave reminds us, focus on the living God, not dead heroes. And grace? Moses' mistake barred him from Canaan, but not from God's love. He appeared glorified with Jesus. Your failures don't define you, God's mercy does. Keep going, restoration awaits. The battle over Moses' body symbolizes something bigger, God's unbreakable plan. Satan tried to corrupt the covenant Moses represented, the law, the Exodus, the promises. But God preserved it, pointing forward to Jesus, the ultimate mediator. Moses foreshadowed Christ, both lawgivers, miracle workers, deliverers. Yet Jesus succeeded where Moses stumbled, entering the true promised land, heaven for us. Satan's defeat here previews his ultimate downfall at the cross. Colossians 2:15. Jesus disarmed the powers and authorities, making a public spectacle of them. Victory is ours. In our daily battles, this story fuels hope. Feeling accused? Declare God's truth. Tempted by idols, success, stuff, status? Turn back to pure worship. Afraid of failure? Embrace grace. It's greater than any sin. Moses' life screams, God uses imperfect people for eternal purposes. His miracles sustained a nation. His obedience shaped history. Even in death, he teaches us trust. Let's linger on Moses' miracles. They weren't just shows, they were signs of God's heart. The plagues humbled Egypt's gods, proving Yahweh's supremacy. Manna taught daily dependence, sound like your life. Water from the rock symbolized Christ, 1 Corinthians 10:4, the living water. But Moses' disobedience? A poignant reminder, pride steals glory. Yet God buried him tenderly, hiding him from harm. That act of love moves me, God caring for his weary servant. Satan's obsession reveals his fear. He knows bodies matter. Resurrection is coming. 1 Corinthians 15:42-44 promises our bodies sown in weakness, raised in power. Satan wanted to mock that, but failed. For us, it means hope. God guards our eternal destiny. This tale calls us to vigilance. Spiritual wars aren't dramatic like movies. They're subtle whispers, doubts, distractions. But armed with God's word, we win. James 4:7. Submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. Like Michael, rely on the Lord. Wrapping our hearts around this, Moses' body battle unveils God's fierce love. He protects, honors, redeems. In a world of chaos, know you're not alone. Heaven fights for you. Satan's accusations, silenced by grace. Idols, shattered by true worship. Blocked paths, opened by divine power. Live boldly, worship purely, trust deeply. Moses' story isn't distant, it's your invitation to victory. The same God who buried Moses and defeated Satan stands with you. Feel that peace, it's yours, walk in it. Knowing the battle's won,